The Steelers lose to 3 teams that they shouldn't have. They should be, and should is a big word given the fact that this team has been up and down. This team has been outgained by the opponent in almost every single game. So maybe they shouldn't be anything, but they had the possibility of being 10-3 at this point, maybe 9-4. Instead, the Steelers are way back out of the playoffs in the hunt still. They still got a small chance. And I know a lot of people are holding on to hope and chance and that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to turn it around. But after what I've seen, especially out of George Pickens and his lack of effort, and this team just looks demoralized. They don't look like they're into it. I highly doubt they're going to turn it around at this venture. I mean, you're sticking with, at this point, we're thinking maybe Mason Rudolph. We'll see. Let's break it down. Let's look at why Mitch Trubisky was benched. Let's get into it. Hesitating on his throw, and it was early and often. And as the game progressed, it ended up turning into some bigger problems. So this ball is going to go to Allen Robinson. What he's going to be doing, he's just going to be sitting in the soft part of the zone. The zone's going to be backing up. He's going to come wide open. Mitch Trubisky hits him. It's a completion. But just watch Mitch. He hesitates on the throw. Right there. Just hesitates a little bit. I'll rewind that again. And, he makes the throw, but in tighter coverage, this ends up hurting him. This is another example of him hesitating on the throw as well. As you see at the bottom of the screen, you have George Pickens one-on-one coverage. Just ends up being a completion as well and going for big yards. But I just want you to keep an eye on Trubisky, as he's being very hesitant on delivering this ball. Here's the route that Pickens is going to be running. He just kind of double clutches. I don't know if you guys saw that. Let me rewind that a little bit. All right, keep your eye on Trubisky. Just double clutching. You can see it from this angle better. And he still makes the throw, but it's just when you hesitate like that, it throws off the timing of the throw, it throws the receiver off. And I think that may be one of the reasons as well, is why some of these receivers don't have that yak. Now, in that play specifically, there was some yak to gain. However, I just feel that there'd be even more out of these receivers if the quarterback could hit, the receiver on time in stride. I think that component of the game would make this team significantly better. And that's something that neither Mitch Trubisky has done right now or Kenny Pickett, to be honest with you. Now, this is going to be the interception play. And on this play, it's a play action pass where Trubisky is going to throw across his body deep down the field. In my opinion, I think there's a penalty there at the top. It should have been thrown. But, throwing across your field, across your body is not the best decision. So he's looking down the field. George Pickens does look open. I mean, he's got to throw it a little bit more flatter towards the opposite side, towards the sideline that he's running at. George Pickens is up there by the 30-yard line. But the way he throws it, it leads itself up for a pick. Now, right there, that should have been a pass interference. There should have been a penalty on this play. Let's rewind that a little bit so you guys can see that in full motion. Let's watch the entire play of the route. George Pickens in the slot. He's kind of open there, but the safety has him. Hits him at the top. Should be a pass interference. Ends up being a pick. I just think maybe he throws it a little bit flatter, a little bit leading him a little bit more towards the sideline instead of up the field. Maybe there's a chance there, but not in that situation. It's an interception, the first one for Mitch Trubisky, and the first mark for him to get benched. Now, on this play here, this is third down, and you're going to have Pat Freiermuth just kind of sit in the zone here. And what Mitch Trubisky does is he just kind of misses him completely, actually. He throws it right behind him. I mean, the linebacker behind Pat Freiermuth was in better position to catch this ball than Pat Freiermuth was. You see how far behind the ball is for Pat Freiermuth. And it looks like he's got some pressure in his face, Mitch Trubisky, that is. But he's an NFL quarterback. He needs to be able to make these throws. This is wide open, right in front of him. Pitch and catch. Can't do it. Another reason why he was benched. Now, on this play here, this is another miss into the soft part of the zone. It's a little bit deeper down the field. And Mr. Trubisky just kind of one-hops it to Deontay Johnson, who is wide open in this area. So what you're gonna have is you have the defense playing, it looks like zone. Allen Robinson in the slot position is going to run up the field. He's going to end up attracting the middle linebacker and the safety. The cornerback that's over Allen Robinson is going to be attracted to the route run by Jalen Warren. Initially, Deontay Johnson's running what looks like a go before he cuts back in. So the outside cornerback who's dropping into the deep part of the zone has to account for possibly the ball being thrown over the top. So it's going to give a huge opening there for Deontay Johnson. And like I said before, Mitch Trubisky just kind of one hops it there. So as you can see, he's open. You can see Mitch Trubisky, he's about to release the ball here. And he just one hops it. And he's staring down at him the entire time. So I don't understand why that happened. It's weird. On this play here, I also question the decision, maybe even pre-snap. He's going to end up going to George Pickens at the top of the route, but he's going to be covered by like 4 people. And at the bottom of the screen where all the other routes are, there's a couple of receivers that come open. So on this route, you're going to end up having 4 different defenders covering or accounting for George Pickens. I just don't get it. You got 4 up top. That fourth one, number 4, the safety, he's playing deep. And given the route that George Pickens is running, he's running right towards him. So he's going to put him back into play. And the thing is, and what concerns me is that Mitch Trubisky was looking at Pat Freiermuth, who does come open. He is the one receiver, in my opinion, that is the most open on this play. Mitch Trubisky is looking at him, and yet he chooses to throw it over to the top. And this is one of the things that I had complained about Kenny Pickett, where he would look to his left and then throw to the right. And a lot of folks were saying that he was reading progressions. And I said, no, I don't think so, because when he's looking to the left or looking to the right and then, throwing to the other direction, there's been times where those receivers are open. So what that tells me is that this is just a, pre-planned. He's going to look off the safety or look off a cornerback by looking in the opposite direction. It's not really actually reading progressions. It's more to try to hold a player on the defense. It's a good strategy, but I just really would like to see more progression from the Steelers quarterbacks. This angle, you can kind of see where he's turning his head. He's kind of looking at that middle linebacker, number 44 there. And he kind of dips down to Pat Freiermuth before going back over and just kind of throwing up a prayer, not really knowing that there's 4 different defenders there. On this play here, you're going to have your 2 tight ends. Connor Hayward, he's playing in the slot. Pat Freiermuth is off the right tackle. And what you're going to have is Connor Hayward go up and come back. This is going to be the route that Mitch Trubisky chooses. But just beyond him, you're going to see Pat Freiermuth, who's in the same vicinity, just past Connor Hayward, come wide open. He's open from the get-go almost. I mean, you have to read the players in front of you. They're way out of position for anything going behind them. They're facing the linebacker, that is. They're facing the quarterback. I'll show you guys. But he's open right there. That's open. He throws it to Connor Hayward, who's double-teamed in very close proximity to where he's at. All right, right here. You see how the number 45, that linebacker, you see where his back is facing. His back is facing towards the direction where Pat Freiermuth, is at. So if he throws the ball in that direction over him, because Pat Freiermuth is running away. He's not cutting it going towards the sideline. He's running away. He's running up the field. So all Mitch Trubisky has to do is just kind of throw it over that guy, and you got yourself a big gain. This guy isn't in position to just turn around and run with Pat Freiermuth up the field. He's in better position to break on the ball that would be thrown to Connor Hayward. Now, on this play here, this is another example of Mitch Trubisky reading press down at the bottom and throwing the ball to George Pickens no matter what because of it. And at the top of the screen, you're going to have 2 of your tight ends come open. The Indianapolis Colts are doing is, it looks like they're playing zone, so everybody's just going to drop back, which is going to leave these guys open. Mitch Trubisky is going to target the lone receiver down at the bottom of your screen, but he throws it so far out of bounds it's not even catchable. I mean, I understand, giving your guy a chance, but is this really a chance? Watch this. Look at where the ball lands. I mean, I know George is a special player, but come on now, man. On this play here, George Pickens comes wide open. I mean, it's a good read. It's a good call to go against what the Indianapolis Colts are doing defensively. It comes wide open. Mitch Trubisky just airmails it high, throws it way too high, and this ends up being intercepted. And this ends up being Mitch Trubisky's last play as the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers in this game, potentially for the rest of his career. Check it out. It's a good decision. Just throws it way too high, right into the hands of the safety over the top. Easy interception. And one thing I want you guys to pay attention about this, everybody's talking about the effort play of George Pickens when it comes to earlier on in the game where Jalen Warren almost scores a touchdown, but George Pickens' failed attempt to block ends up being why he ends up getting tackled before the goal line, and it's been spreading. But check this out. He's at the 40-yard line running towards this player, possibly can make the tackle here. Look at what he does. I want you guys to check this out. Where's he going? Yeah, you can see it from this side worse. So the ball is way too high. It's not George Pickens' fault that the ball is too high. But look at what he does. He looks first to the left, and then he looks back at the cornerback, and then just takes off to the right. When you have players playing like this, in my opinion, it's because of the leadership. I think it was in the movie Remember the Titans where the quote was, attitude reflect leadership. I think that's true. And in this situation, George Pickens' attitude is a reflection of Mike Tomlin's coaching. And you can see that reflection in a lot of players. Deontay Johnson, continually having issues, talking about, taking teams lightly, even after Coach Tomlin comes out and says, no, we're not taking teams lightly. The very next day, not only does Deontay Johnson doubled down on taking teams lightly, but says that they were taking them lightly the entire week, magnifying the lightness that they were taking a quote unquote inferior team. Mason Rudolph ended up coming into the game at the end of for the final drive or so. I mean, what can you do in that situation, down by so much? So there's not really a fair representation of what he did there. I'm excited to see if they're going to give him an opportunity to play against Cincinnati this weekend in a definite must-win game that the Pittsburgh Steelers want to, sniff the playoffs. They have to win this game. If they end up going down to 7-8 with 2 games left, I think that at that point, maybe you do consider getting a higher draft pick. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Should Mitch Trubisky be given another chance? Should he no longer be on the team after this season? I understand that he's going to be there, and in case of an emergency, he may come back into the game, but I don't think he should be in the game due to any kind of coaching decision. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that like and subscribe button, ring that notification bell. I appreciate everybody that's been with us on this journey. We'll be doing a few more this week. I'll be doing another breakdown as to what Mason Rudolph can bring to the Pittsburgh Steelers. You don't want to miss it. It's pretty good, I think. I'll see you next time. Peace.